We got a super from Blue Blazer who says, in Bozja, bosses drop detailed lore documents that you can read and collect for an in-game lore book, and if you complete it, you get a mount. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's insanely cool. I didn't know that.
If
that's
Blizzard did that, I'd give them claps.
Oh, that reminds me of something that's really cool.
And that's actually putting the lore document in the game too. That's also great.
That's
cool.
That's something I actually need to go and do. So one of the things that is really, really good about Drakengard and the NieR series is how much weapons are important. You grab weapons, they have stories, they have a little bit of lore behind them.
Yeah.
And there's loads of little bits that are really well written and interesting. They tell proper little almost like fairy tale like stories. In the NieR raids in Shadowbringers, they put that system into the game, but not for weapons. It was literally you go around the raid zone.
Yeah.
Because you can explore it you can explore it outside of the raid. There's a little system in game. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it basically you go and like you're literally playing NieR Automata, you will go find boxes, click them, open weapon data recorded, and then you can open the thing and read in-game lore, but in the style of a different game entirely. For what could be canon NieR lore.
Interesting.
That's the little thing they put in. That's just a complete aside. So I guess that reminds me of that thing.
Yeah.
Where there is that in-game lore, that in-game stuff. It's classic.
Oh man, that's neat. That's very neat.
Yes.
I've lost myself in the document. Why have I done this? Anytime I switch tabs in Safari or just whatever, it's because of YouTube's pop-up. It refreshes where I am in the page, which means I'm just like, I've lost the supers. Where have they gone? One second.
Yep.
And we're back.
This one.
Are we back? We're almost back. Yes, we're back. Sriya Shankar says, quit retail equals happy. Playing classic equals chill and fun. And FF is extremely enjoying and satisfying to play.
Yep.
Glad you're happy, and it seems like that's just that thing of retail ain't doing it for people. Some of that system design. Some of that is like the Legion thing.
Yeah.
Legion had had some good systems, it had some quite bad systems, but it had so much content and progress that you didn't care because it just felt good as you went through it.
Yep.
So that's your situation.
There was enough good stuff that the bad stuff didn't matter.
Yeah. And we got one from Gemstar who said, FF updates their code with the times so it runs as smooth as it does. WoW is too far behind and understaffed to do this. So that's interesting. I ran into this problem last night. I was on, it was the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
So it was whenever they gave it a keyboard that's actually fucking usable. Thank you, Apple, for finally admitting the butterfly key switches were bad. But you didn't admit it publicly, which sucked. Anyway, it's got a Radeon Pro 5500M. No, it's a Vega 5500M. Anyway,
Can't remember yet.
It was this thing. FF was lowest settings 50 FPS.
Yeah.
Just in the Forests of Gridania and in Limsa.
Yeah.
I log into World of Warcraft. 6. Graphic preset 6. 2560. Solid 60 in Borealis.
World of Warcraft is significantly more scalable than FF. Massively. Right. FF does not that's why I kind of struggle to have it here running very well. It's a kind of case of it's just not. It's just different. It's different. It's more modern at its core, which kind of results in that.
I feel like that's what means that their gear looks the way it does.
Yeah.
They can do dyes the way that they do that, etc., etc., etc. And I guess that's in FF technically they can probably do a lot more.
Yes.
Than what Blizzard can do, which is probably why Final Fantasy XIV's in-game cutscenes and stuff are leagues beyond World of Warcraft's as you get into Stormblood and Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
Where it's with WoW, they kind of have to hack that into something old where it wasn't really built for that in the first place.
Yeah,
which basically means what we've been saying for a while. It's ultimately, you are competing with FF14 and Blizzard. You really seem to be trying to take your lore and make this a very story-driven game. So you need to be able... Basically, WoW needs to be able to have as good or better in-game cutscenes than FF14.
Yep.
They're a little bit away from that. They have been getting better. There was that one in the Maw where the high-res model of Anduin, they load that in, and it's is it lip-synced? But it's like it's way more effective than it used to be.
Yeah,
If they can
it's awesome,
make
like,
that be the default, we're in a way better place. But then there are things they need to do, like maybe a little bit of depth of field. Some of those cinematic techniques, they need to learn. Not learn, I mean, they'll know. But I mean, doing depth of field, like, how do you do that? I mean, you can get a depth map very, very easily anyway. Just I don't really know how that's all technically implemented in the game. But anyway, that's sort of besides the point. You know, WoW is probably having a few engine struggles. I imagine sort of thing. We don't see it as players that much because, like, the game, like, generally when you're playing it, it feels great. You go into WoW, your frame rate's high, your like character animations are awesome. It doesn't feel like an old game, but there's probably just those like little bits where you rub up against the edges of it, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
now it no longer feels as polished.
I also imagine they have a huge budget on the technical side and on engineering to do half of what they do, which I think is one of the problems. Where like, how much effort did it take for them to get those customizations going? Like that was a project. Like.
Yeah.
When, you know, if it were a more modern game, that shit's free.
It probably wouldn't have, well, not free, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's a figure of speech in terms of they don't have that massive barrier of we need to figure out how to get all this stuff to upgrade while still working. It's just like, yeah, we're using a modern engine, we can, you know, or a less limited one historically. Because I don't want to like paint it in a bad light because it seems great. Also, Shape of Theseus problem. Can you replace all of it? Most of it anyway. They finally got backpack expansion to work.
Oh yeah.
They said that was impossible, and then the authenticator, then Volpera. So they did get that, which actually kind of sets them a little bit ahead of the FF14 devs.
Oh yeah, I've heard of their backpack issues.
Yep, sitting with the glamour dresser not being able to hold more, and
until the removal of belts.
Yeah. Well, no, that glamour dresser for your glamour appearances.
Oh, okay.
Is also like it's a tactical problem. They can't just make that infinite. And then same with like they're removing belts, which allows them to give you more slots for weapons and rings.
That's just funny.
And it's like, well, why can't I just increase the spaces? Like,
yeah. Technical
problems.